rising Venus signs. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need shadow read for this full moon to new moon, March into April 2022? I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons. Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. There's even a link in the description box. Creator on Patreon, patreon.com/Drawing the Circle. I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hey. Hey, my Taurians, you try saying that every day and not having fun with it or going mad. I choose to have fun with it. If you're new to the channel, a 7-card draw is 1 card from 7 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about a specific astrological timeline. In this case, a waning moon, the full to new March into April. Let's look at it. Full moon in Virgo, Friday, March 18th, 3:17 a.m. I'll be probably doing my magic before that. Catch the waxing side of that full moon. And then, of course, we were looking at the 2 weeks following. The releasing, the letting go, the alchemy, the forgiving, the surrendering, if you're familiar with lunar tides, to the new moon in Aries. Friday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, a new moon. You really can't beat that, unless it was on a Tuesday. Then it would be so much Mars energy, seriously. And that is at 2:24 a.m. So early morning magics. And we are going to be having, of course, the dark moon in Pisces before that, which if you are an empath in any way, shape, or form, you might want to schedule some downtime for yourself to process, particularly with what's going on planet Earth, but doing everything on my end to serve what's going on in the world, particularly with what's going on in Ukraine, just trying to bring people together and to heal. And because you know what, there's not much I can do physically, but there's a lot that I can do spiritually, emotionally, and vibrationally. And may this shadow read, whatever it is that hits the table, as you heal, as you alchemize, as you go from lead to gold, toxic to healthy, pain to peace, you help heal the world. Because that's unity. Sorry. Not sorry. So, let's try and keep it light, right? The big-ass elephant in the room was standing on top of the planet right now. It is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because we got more than one situation going, or perhaps this will give you another sign, will give you more information about the scenario, the situation that you're letting go, releasing, forgiving, surrendering, making room for the new, etc. on this full to new. I guess that's about it, except to say both feet on the floor if you can. You're a Taurus. Stay grounded. Focus on your breath if you will. I will focus on my breath as I go, because that's what keeps me connected, so I can get you the guidance and grace, the clues, the tips, the hints in a very, very pivotal time on planet Earth. Please take a nice deep breath. And here we go. We're going to start our first draw will be from the Caroline Mace archetype deck, getting you the 8th chakra dynamic, the archetype, the soul power, hovering over your head that affects every chakra underneath it in terms of what you attract and repel, and gives you an indication of the shadow work. There is a video section, suggested videos, in the description box. The Shadow Effect featuring Debbie Ford is in that, and as I find other stuff, I'm going to keep adding it. So, for your deeper research, but if you really want to go deep, Patreon, that's where the core community I'm building there is going a bit deeper than your average. So, the shadow and the light attribute. Let's see what hits the table. That sets the stage for every other card that hits. And within the lead, there is gold. So, I do the alchemy from lead to gold. The last card down is the Blessed Be, the hidden blessing. If you do the alchemy, within the toxic comes the healthy, etc. Within the curse becomes the blessing. Breathe. Location, location, location. Here we go. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, the collective pantheons, and the higher selves of all involved for the Taurus collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, please. What's their dominant 8th chakra archetype in the timeline that we will be looking at for them today? What they need to alchemize: lead to gold, pain to peace, shadow to light, fear to love, affecting what they attract and repel as they release and let go. This waning moon, new moon in, full moon in Virgo to new moon in Aries, April, March 2022. The night. Oh, I was waiting for a night. Oh, you can be there in my arms. I'm not calling it the J-Lo card, but damn, it's close. Masculine family archetype of the 9 families. Masculine energy, don't get it twisted. It's not about gender. It's about how you externalize, right? The feminine, the yin, the masculine, the yang. The knight archetype, one of the royal archetypes. The shadow attribute, the lead, the indication of what the shadow work is. Allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle. You know, we ain't got none of that going on planet Earth, except everywhere. Romantic delusions. So if there is a romantic part of this, you might be dealing with, if not you yourself being the knight, you could certainly have the archetype in terms of interacting with one. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. The gold you're shooting for here, where the hidden blessing is: loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. So even if you are dealing with a Dark Knight, Batman, I guess black courtesy telephone, very, very dark blue, almost appearing as black courtesy telephone. That's a bit much to say over the airport speaker. That then you embody those, right? You make sure that your actions are loyal, romantic. That can take a lot of different meanings. Chivalrous, look up the code of chivalry. We're not going into it in this video. And a love of honor. I don't have the knight archetype. I've got the prince. It's a different dynamic, but still in that same masculine family of archetypes. All right, we're off and running. Let's see. The Daughters of the Moon Tarot gives us the next 4 chakras down. The internal world, the yin energy, the feminine energy, even though this is a masculine sign, masculine family archetype, we'll get to that in the deck after this one. But think of it, the more you alchemize that, the more it's going to change your internal world, your psychological world, the crown, the third eye, the throat, and the heart, right? Coming down, working its way into physical form, time and space. Breathe. As I call upon my goddess of earth. Sign of Taurus, powers of the north, please. 1 card in clarity from the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. What is the heart, throat, third eye, crown dynamic here for the Taurus collective watching this video, receiving this reading, considering they have the knight archetype? Overall, in this full to new, waning, alchemy, letting go, shadow work scenario, what's going on in the inside world, usually where the shadow work presents itself and is either chosen or rejected day by day by day. Please clarify this knight archetype. What's going on? Heart, third eye, crown, this full to new. The Sibyl, the Ace of Blades, the One of Blades, the Oracle of Delphi would be the Ace of Swords. A new thought, a new truth comes in. Now, because it's very third eye, element of air, third eye, thought, this might be something that comes this way, right? May not necessarily come this way, although, as a creative type myself, I can get ideas and inspirations out of the blue or triggered by something, right? Just when I see perhaps a repetitive pattern and it's a little piece of the puzzle that clicks in, oh, that's an interesting way to look at that. A truth comes in. Now, I will say, as a result of this reading, you keeping your eye out for that, or keeping your third eye in for that, however you want to phrase that for yourself. The Pythia, the Oracle of Delphi, huffing ethylene gas out of a crack in the wall. The temple's still there, by the way. I would love to go back in this life, but I understand that there's no more gas coming out of the wall to get you buzzed. You can prophesy. bygones, certainly ancient bygones, but she was a prophetess. She brought through oracles, not like this. The people who came to the Oracle of Delphi were warlords and kings, right? The opening credits to Xena essentially is the what we're looking at. Like, it wasn't by, like, it's not by, it's my twin flame, my soulmate. There was none of that, right? It was all pretty big. She was the voice of the god Apollo, but before Apollo took it over, the voice of the Pythia. Long story, ancient legend, still masculine energy repressing feminine, but it's alright, she's resurging. So, you know, a truth comes in here. Let's see, what's that look like on the outside? Or at least, you know, you looking at yourself, you know, from the outside in or the inside out with this Knight archetype. Breathe. I mean, in terms of shadow work, a piece of clarity, a piece of truth can go a long way, right? Learn a new procedure, a new technique, a new philosophy or something. A new truth comes in and banishes the shadow, because light and shadow can't exist in the same space. As I call upon my gods of earth, the sign of Taurus, powers of the North, mythic tarot, lower 3 chakras, yang energy. This can be about relationships, root chakra, tribal relationships, groups, people, everything from their genetic DNA to their circle of friends, what they do for a living, right? Anything involving 3 or more people. Second chakra is the 2 people, one-on-one, the umbilical. If this romantic is with somebody else, or that word takes on a larger, more abstract meaning. Solar plexus, their relationship to themselves, their honor code, which is a love of honor, really important. Solar plexus, their self-esteem, right? That's solar energy in the solar plexus. Please give us one. Clarify for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. Knight archetype in the 8th, the Sibyl on the inner, and we've got the 6 cups on the outer. Certainly a card that means many things to many people, especially on YouTube. First thing I always like to call out is that 6 is a number of harmony and balance in numerology. So this does, if this is you from the outside looking in, yes, perhaps in some emotional reflection, but doing it in a balanced way, which is certainly a way to see things differently, a new thought coming in, which really, if you're dealing with romance, really reflecting on the romantic delusions of your past and maybe even present. And I mean, who hasn't got them? I mean, Disney alone. Just that alone. Of course. Well, and I do Path of True Love reads, right? True love is a thing. It's divine love in human form, usually expressed through relationships, right? And I loved what Disney did with Once Upon a Time on ABC. Showed the true love between parent and child. That was awesome. I was like, thank you. Right? It's divine love in motion, if you like. But we all have lies, illusions, deceptions, and delusions, not just from the times we've been lied to, deluded, deceived, or eluded? I don't know if that's the right word. Illusioned. But, you know, individually in our relationships, certainly societally, it's in there. You don't need anybody to rescue you. Right? But the knight can often be the one who loves to rescue damsels, and then they rescue them, and then they get bored, and then they find another one to rescue. And that's why I don't deal with knights. I don't need rescuing. Thanks. So that 6 of Cups, absolutely. I'm going to go there. It could be someone from the past coming back. There is that nostalgia there, and I agree. So this, again, whether you really identify with that knight archetype, if this is not you, you are still dealing with the knight archetype, but maybe in somebody returning. Oh no, not that. Anything but that, blessed be. let's get you the healing mantra card from the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn, which helps with, I mean, all of them help. They're all good. But it's nice to have something to say to yourself, even if you're rocking back and forth, a little mantra to get you through. And they're essentially truths that the soul knows to be absolutely true, but the personality is unsure of, and the ego absolutely, 9 times out of the 10, despises. Please take a nice deep breath. Yep, trying to find the fun. Here we go to Shadow Read as I call upon the Ascended Masters General Assembly. This could be about anything at this point. It's just too general to pare it down, so please make it as specific as you can for the Taurus Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What's the healing mantra to help them with the shadow work? To help them do the healing that is necessary, the clearing the path, the forgiving with that Knight archetype in the 8th. Sybil, hold your water. It's odd for an air card that it's hold your water. Hold your ethylene gas. Sybil, with 6 of Cups on the outer, that's where they're probably holding their water. Please give them something specific to really click this in for them. This full to new. Demystifying the darkness. My shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. Bookie book drop. There we go. It's the shadow work card. You got the shadow work card in the 7 card draw shadow reading. Let me read this for you. Because again, this is though completely appropriate. It's sort of a womp womp card. I mean, it's not inviting ecstasy. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart's desires. This might very well be helping to heal the world. Let me just read what's on here, and then you'll probably get my editorial throughout. Breathe. My shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. When darkness is demystified, the scariest feelings, thoughts, ideas, and beliefs are seen as cries for attention from your most hurt and broken parts. You're going to get a lot of truth and insight out of this, particularly if you're looking for romantic healing stuff. Just saying. Once the darkness is illuminated, you're able to be the light that transforms the dark instead of hiding in the light to avoid moments of darkness. And like I said in that video, the Shadow Effect featuring Debbie Ford. Debbie Ford wrote a book about something about the light chasers, like about how they run from the shadow, and that was written quite a while ago. Certainly shadow work has made its way back into, I wouldn't say the total mainstream, but spiritually you hear about it more. But it is the shamanic descent. It is therapy. It's all of that internal facing, the stuff that we'd rather keep in the shadow. And it gets stuff down there and it possesses you when you have a weak moment. So it's sort of like slaying dragons, fighting, wrestling demons, however you want to play your your mythological, archetypal mythology. Just as the light can acknowledge how much pain lurks in the darkness, it is the power of your unconditional love that brings your shadow out of hiding. In other words, you don't have to fear the shadow, you have to feel the shadow. But don't burn down the village, right? Don't text when you're in that. Just go, no, I'm gonna cast circle, call quarters, turn off the phone, lock the windows, draw right? It's shadow time. And you know, if we had all been raised with healthy emotional patterns of healing and expression, wouldn't be so necessary. But then you look at the collective shadow on planet Earth, just watch the news, honey. We can all be taking our share of healing that. Yeah. Unity, U-N-I-T-Y. This mantra is ideal for overcoming fear, dealing with night terrors, well, as a kid, but those were mystical, and transcending the perception of scarcity, because you cannot have a thought of fear without lack or a thought of lack without fear. That's Course in Miracles, and they're absolutely right. I spent hours thinking about it anytime I was afraid. It was like, well, what's lacking? I go, oh, that. And if there was a lack, I'd be, what's the fear? I go, oh, that. It's like two sides of the same toxic coin. So, demystifying the darkness with the Sybil. Truth coming in. 6 of Cups. Through reflection. If you could be the knight and just honor yourself and do this, like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, right? Because my loyalty to myself. Romance, chivalry, look up the chivalric code. Trust me, you'll get it. And a love of honor. And to honor and love yourself. Oof, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's a shadow read. Shall we? The voices of the higher selves. I use the Whispers of Love Oracle. Often the party turner deck. All of a sudden we're dealing with something out of nowhere. This is one of those cards that really, if it's 6 cards out of 7 and this is the one that doesn't resonate, that's okay. But this is the one that calls out the romance card and stuff like that. So let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra, and above, what is the whisper of love for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, that may well be a soul contract, not saying it's not, it's just too general to say that, because 6 of Cups can be a very solitary time, emotional, from the outside looking in, reflecting, I mean, unless somebody's really come back in. So, regardless, the healing that's available here feels palpable, demystifying the darkness, and Lord knows we need as many people doing shadow work on whatever scale they can. Inner child work, therapy, counseling, anything to take the pressure out of the pressure cooker of humanity. So please, what's the piece of information, inspiration, insight, guidance, and grace you have for the Taurians this full to new? Spiritual connection. This relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. You've done it before. Great. So in there is not just current life stuff, but past life stuff. I'll say this. I can regress myself. I taught myself I'm an autodidact. I taught myself back in the 80s how to do it from like a book. Like a job. I put myself through the process. I'm a born mystic. And honestly, I've done it tons of time. I don't really do it with other people. I can in a workshop, certainly. That's easy. But the only thing it's ever really helped me with was relationships. Because I'd be, even though I would see the people's faces, I'd be like, Dad? Right? Your father's not your dad. Your father's not your father in every life, right? That's a role that the soul plays. So whatever shape or form this relationship is, romantic or not, well, I could see somebody dealing with a toxic parent and, right, allegiance to a destructive ruler or principal, right? A destructive ruler. My dad was born on Flag Day. Google and see who else was born on Flag Day. I win. Spiritual connection goes beyond this life. So good. This is something you've been working on for a while, so don't just stand there. Let's get to it. Do the shadow work. Well, I can't say there's nothing to it. There's quite a lot to it. Simply not in play. Easy. So, if you're going to be doing the shadow work, why not have a little clue as to the divine animals that are with you along the journey. The Divine Animals Oracle, Stacy DeMarco. Spirit animals and totems are not necessarily the same thing, at least not how I teach it, but to each their own. Let's see what the message for you is. Please take a nice deep breath. Half and half. Still point. As I call to the spirit animals and totems for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, please, who walks with them, who swims with them, who crawls with them, who flies with them, with this knight archetype in the 8th needing alchemizing, with the Ace of Blades, the One of Blades, the Sibyl, the Oracle of Delphi on the inner very third eye, with 6 of Cups on the outer. Emotional harmony and balance there, but perhaps a come around from a spiritual connection, but that could be any number of different people in their lives doing that while they demystify the darkness, their shadow showing them where their love needs to be sent, as we said, in this spiritual connection that goes beyond this lifetime. What's the divine animal oracle message for the Taurians this full to new? The owl, you know it's wisdom. You know it's always going to be wisdom. It's never like the owl, rebirth. No. The owl, joy and fun. Nope. It's always going to be wisdom. Ain't that right, Athena? Card number 4. Oh, it's pretty owl. These cards are gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I'm showing you this. If you can see it, I don't know with this lighting. But do you see the woman? Do you see her there? You see her? Look at her. That's what I mean about this deck. Is that Athena in there? You know what? That's looking a little Athena-esque in there. I'm sorry. That's what I love about a good deck. Every time you look, your eye catches something else. I love that. Just going to read you the first part and the last part. The first part is a verbal thumbnail description, so to speak. The last part I'm going to read for you is the magic, but just, I'm not getting any perks or kickbacks for this. You get the myth. You get the behavior of the animal, you get the magic, and it even talks about the endangered status, which I just think is really cool. And the symbols connected to it. This I need the magnifying glass for because it's in nano font, which is an itty bitty teeny tiny hierophant. Breathe. Let's try and keep our sense of humor, folks, during the probabilities of World War III. The owl. Wisdom is your keyword, card number 4. Open your eyes. Whoa, the Sibyl. Hold your water and open your eyes, Sibyl. Open your eyes and see what is really there. Look for the whole truth, as you may only be seeing part of the whole. Through experience, we can gain the wisdom to not make the same mistakes again. Develop your learning and intelligence, as education is never wasted. Negotiation is better than attack. Red for filth. Look, if this is romantic and we're looking at romantic delusions, they're like, see what's there. Look, I know I have a type. I know what I'm drawn to, and it's not the healthiest thing on planet Earth. Right? Let's see. Neck tattoo, dependency on some drug or alcohol, right? Chemical dependency on some or other. And, low credit score. Oh, high. No, right? See clearly. See what's there. Everybody wants second sight. Fuck, deal with first sight. See what's really there. Terry Pratchett. Read Terry Pratchett novels. You'll see what I mean. Granny Weatherwax, Granny Weatherwax, Granny Weatherwax. Let me read you the magic. The owl magic. The use of owl magic is an ancient practice. The energy is used in cultures as diverse as ancient Greece and Roman to Northern European and First Nations of the Americas. Use owl magic when you seek wisdom in a situation and perhaps you are not seeing the whole truth. Oh, work. Oh, work. I got a good spell for that, but I never thought of bringing owl magic into it. And owl leaves are illegal to own, at least where I live it is. When you want to see the whole truth and wish to do so. Owl magic is helpful when you cannot make a decision or when you need to take a rational view of an emotionally charged situation. Oh my God, that totally makes sense with the Ace of Blades. That was the end of it, by the way. Absolutely. That now totally clicks in. That's like a chunky puzzle piece there. Chunk just kind of clicks together. So yeah, if there are some delusions here, well, this is going to cut through them as you reflect, sending love to the places that hurt, your shadow showing you where your love needs to be sent as a result of a spiritual connection, and to call in to get the pieces of the puzzle that you don't have to help you make the healthiest decision. Now, you may not get the pieces that you want, but you are going to get the pieces that you need. And when they're the same thing, that's great. And when they're not, it sucks. But it's better to know. Oh, what's the opposite of disillusionment? ponder that. Delusionment really work. Okay, shadow work. Let's get the hidden blessing, as I said, with the archetype here, going from the allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle. Like I've seen a lot of people do some pretty toxic shit over twin flames, right? Just the idea of the twin flame. There are new definitions to it that are much healthier, by the way. So, you know, to the principle and destructive, burning down the village. To move that into loyalty, romance, chivalry, and a love of honor. Here's the hidden blessing as you, that will be revealed as you go. And sometimes you don't see it till later. I didn't write it that way. I like instant gratification. And instant gratification isn't fast enough. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, see, no, that feels good. All right. As I call upon the pantheons of all, the pantheon of all pantheons, all traditions, lineages, and cultures, please, what is the hidden blessing for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading? The hidden blessing from the result of being a knight on the path here, right? So that they can really embrace that loyalty, romance, chivalry, and love of honor with the clarity of the Ace of Blades, the One of Blades, the Pythia, maybe bringing through a download mentally that clears the air and gets rid of some of those delusions while they reflect. Six of Cups, maybe they pull back to do that, right? More solitary time, but coming into emotional balance. But it's also possible that some knight could be trotting back into their lives. So for them to demystify the darkness, their love showing them, their shadow showing them where their love needs to be sent within themselves, not necessarily to somebody else. But this is a spiritual connection, and they've done this before in other lives. So with the owl helping them with that, all of that put together, this adventure, should they choose to accept it, what is the hidden blessing that they can find? This full to new. Last card down. March, April 2022. A blessing to heal a relationship. Trying to keep it light, folks. What do you think I'm doing after this? I'm processing this, I'm editing this, I'm getting some more work done, and then I'm sitting on the news and going into prayer. Because that's my mission, apparently. Yeah, no, they don't want me over there. Just sending. I need 18 cases of black candles. Chat. No, that's not great. Blessing or curse, it's all the same to the gods and the archangels, from what I understand. Unity, unity, unity. Hold on, we're almost there. Relatively short. A blessing to heal a relationship. Now, as fun as I like to have here with these, I do these blessings for real. I like to say for realsies. So, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I'm going to bring this through to the best of my ability. Please take a nice deep breath. Clear that throat chakra mark. Pantheons of all pantheons, please say this through me. Bless them, encode it with guidance, grace, love, power, and wisdom. Here we go. Card number 28, a blessing to heal a relationship. A blessing to aid you when a relationship seems to be a struggle and you cannot find a way to mend your torn heart. This blessing is yours, a charge of energy with which you can reweave the threads that once gently held you in suspended relationship. Once there was understanding and intimacy, ease and comfort. But for a while now, there may have been trouble and discord, a sense of displeasure that stains the days, making the time you spend together uncomfortable and self-conscious. So, take now this blessing and pour it upon the troubled waters between you. That's just the preface. Here's the blessing. Breathe. Where there is uneasiness, let the expression of what causes this be found. And if it be found within each other, let a gentle disentanglement begin until the source is discovered and is cured without strain and blame. Let your hands reach out to the other and feel the warmth of your humanity pulsing through the blood beneath the skin until the comfort of each other heals the coldness that has come between you. Let you begin, so to speak, from the heart, flowing and strong, even if the voice that sends the words forth seems to choke within your throat at first. Let understanding begin to glimmer and grow, and the willingness to give, the openness to receive, be explored. Until the hearts that lie within you both open up and bloom within the new care and tenderness with which you agree to hold each other's most cherished dreams and hopes. Let words, soft and true, fall between you until you begin to trust and arise from the bed of nails that you have each slept in since this disharmony came between you. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, breathe. As we will it, so let it be done. So mote it be. So it is. Makes sense. A night with romantic delusions, getting the truth to them, in reflection, doing shadow work, demystifying the darkness in a spiritual connection, using wisdom, getting the information that they need in order to heal a relationship, a hidden blessing here. I don't think it gets more arithmetic-ish, if that's the right word. It's totally the wrong word. Mathematical than that. Really, what an intensely clear and powerful read here, but you got to be willing. Remember, you have the choice to do this or not, and hey, you don't want to do it in this life, that's okay. You can come back in the next time and do it, and maybe there'll be a family member, or maybe there'll be a lover. Do it in this life. And if you need some help, book me for a read. Booking a reading with Mal, it's a YouTube video down there if you want to check it out. But if you really want to go deep, come Patreon on Patreon, patreon.com/drawing the circle. My honor, my pleasure serving you, my fellow Earth signs Virgo, that I am. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this shadow work when the world needs it more than ever. This full to new March, April 2022. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.